Welcome to Fabric Monday. Today we'll talk about extended Git support in Microsoft Fabric. A few days ago, an article about Git support for Power BI was published. I published this article. But now the Git support is being extended every day. It's even possible that when you are watching this video, the support is even more extended than what I'll show you now. Let's go into it. Here we have a workspace multi-Git article. In fact, I used this workspace to write the article about Power BI Git support. At that time, the Git support was only available for reports and datasets. But you may be noticing something different here. I have a notebook, I have a lakehouse, and I have the full dataset for the lakehouse. And the three of them are with the status synced with the source control. This means lakehouse, notebooks, and datasets are already supported in Git source control when the Power BI workspace are linked to a source control repository like Azure DevOps. Let's make one experiment. Let me open this notebook and let me make a small edit. Changing the notebook code. Of course, I'm changing only a comment, but that's enough. I'm changing. Let me close. The status synced changed to uncommitted. This means this notebook has uncommitted changes. These changes need to be sent to the source control. The source control button appears with the number 1. One item is in need to synchronize with the source control. Let's click on the source control button. I can select the notebook and send the notebook to the source control. Notebook changed and commit. That's it. So we have a notebook, a lakehouse, and then the full data set of the lakehouse on the source control. How they appear inside the source control environment? Let's discover. Let's go to the Azure DevOps repository and see how they appear. Here it is, my repository, and we may notice we have new folders, we have a notebook folder, and we have a lakehouse folder. Notebook and lakehouse are the extension of the folder. Yes, these are folders with extensions. While the name of the folder is the name of the lakehouse and the name of the notebook. This means that for each lakehouse and for each notebook that we create in a workspace, we'll have a new folder in our source control. What these folders contain? Let's open the notebook folder and we have some surprises. One of the surprises is that the notebook doesn't contain the traditional notebook extension. It contains a Py extension, like a Python file extension, and not the traditional notebook extension which allows us to break the notebook in code blocks, use formatted code blocks, and so on. And we have the regular item config JSON and item metadata JSON, which defines an item which will appear inside the workspace. So these two files are defining that this folder is a single item which will appear in the workspace. But let's take a look on the PY file, the content of the PY file. How a notebook without the code blocks can appear as a simple PY file. Simple. Metadata contained as comments. The definition of cells are contained as comments inside the notebook, and they are interpreted as notebook metadata when the notebook is open on the workspace. So we have metadata inserted as comments inside the PY file to make it a notebook without the code blocks which we already know. This is the format used for a notebook, but for a lakehouse it's even stranger, because lakehouse contains data. How could it be inside the source control? That's the point. We have a single lakehouse metadata JSON, and this single lakehouse metadata JSON at the moment has no definition. At the moment I'm recording this video, this file is only marking the presence of the lakehouse in the workspace. The lakehouse is present in the workspace. And we have also the additional two files which transform this folder in a single object in the workspace. So this marks the presence of the lakehouse in the workspace. That's how the lakehouse and the notebook are recorded inside the source control repository. Let's take a look again on the workspace. The lakehouse has a SQL Analytics endpoint, and this SQL Analytics endpoint is still marked as unsupported. The lakehouse can't be separated from this SQL Analytics endpoint, but the lakehouse is already supported in the source control, but the SQL Analytics endpoint is not, is unlinked to the source control. This brings us let's say, a problem. In this example on this workspace is linked with branch B. This lakehouse was created on branch B of my repository. What happens if I try to change to main? The main branch doesn't have the lakehouse. Okay, so the lakehouse would not be present, but the SQL Analytics endpoint is not linked to the source control. So what would happen in this situation? We have an error. We have an error because there are dependence objects that can be broken down. We can't separate the lakehouse from the SQL Analytics endpoint for a while, until this gets further improvements. Once we have a lakehouse in the workspace and the workspace is linked to the source control, we can't switch the branch. We can't switch the branch on the workspace settings because this would break the link between the lakehouse and the SQL Analytics endpoint, which would be a big problem. But the important part is how the source control for the Fabric objects is improving every day, and probably when you are watching this video it may have improved further than what I'm showing now. Thank you very much for watching and see you next week.